Hey, good evening, good evening, good evening. Oh my goodness. Tonight's guest, you guys know him. It is going to be quite a show. He has a lot of information, not just for TNBA, but for bowling, period. So I know you guys are going to have a lot of questions. You guys are going to ask him a lot. And I have some questions as well. And hopefully we can get this going. And man, this guy been knowing me for quite a while, and so share this video. I had to create something new. So, like I said, share and let's get these people out here to start asking this dude some questions, man. So I'm gonna bring our, I can't say former, our present TNBA president to the screen, man, Mr. Dewann Clark. Mr. Dewann, what's going on?
Hey now, Mr. Bowtie.
Hey, and look, guys, this guy, he has Bowtie on, coming on the Bowtie show, man. It makes me feel good, so I'm already happy.
Yeah, well, I was Bowtie before you was Bowtie. You didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that.
It's all good.
Man.
All right. Sorry for the technical difficulties we had earlier.
How's life treating you? How's everything?
Wonderful, wonderful. So having a good old time. I was just chilling the past couple of days.
Okay.
I was in Vegas, and now I'm out here in LA in one of my private rooms out here. I have an Airbnb out here in Los Angeles.
Okay, there you go, man. Like I said, hey, good evening, Denise. Hey, hit that share button, man, because I know a lot of people. Denise, if you can, share it to all these pages, all the TNBA pages. Let everybody know where we are. But no, Dewann, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Just a little bit, because questions is going to come. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, probably people don't know that I've been around bowling a long time. I, started off at the age 12, actually like age 11, junior bowling program. And once upon a time, I was actually pretty good. Didn't quite get to elite status, but I was rubbing shoulders with all those elites out there. I became one of the first of three Black bowlers to get entered into one of the nation's top youth bowling programs called the Great LA Junior All-Stars. And myself, obviously, Chip Pettiford and a guy named Warren Davis Jr., we all got into the Junior All-Stars at the same time, the very first three Blacks ever to get into that program. And 2 years later, I became the executive director of that program, ran it for 28 years. And it was, hands down, second to none, the top performing youth bowling program in the entire country, actually the world, producing more professionals and more top amateurs than any other group in the world, had more members of the earned Star of Tomorrow award than any other organization. I think we have about 12 or 14 people, all from our program, earning the nation's top honor for a youth member. And has more PBA titles than any other group in the world. More people in the Hall of Fame than you possibly imagine. I think you've had 5 of my members on the show so far. Mark Baker being one of them, Mason Sherman, Josh Blanchard. All of them came to my program. So this is and that's just the tip of the iceberg. We had over 1,000 alumni come through our program. They're scattered all over the country. And so that's actually my biggest claim to fame, hands down, second to none, is running that organization. And it was most, again, prestigious organization that I'd ever been involved with. And very, very proud of that fact.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. Hey, Wanda Parker, hey, share the video because I have to create a new broadcast. So everybody's probably thinking we were on that old one. So share. We want everybody to come in and hear Dewann Clark. Because everybody wanted Dewann Clark, and guess what? Mr. Bowtie delivered, and we got Dewann Clark.
And the Bowtie.
And the Bowtie. So trust and believe, man. We want everybody here. We don't want no fans and nothing like that. Or, man, we here. This is the bowling show that keeps it 100. Dewann, I'm going to tell you now, hey, I don't want the company spiel. I don't want TNBA spiel. I want your perspective.
Well, that's what you're going to get.
Hey, the whole thing.
That's what you're gonna get. Yeah.
Because
straight from the heart.
Straight from the heart.
Unedited, just straight from the heart. There we go.
That's exactly what we want right there. Unedited.
Yes.
Hey, there we go. But look, man, hey, we gonna start off with a little personal question, man. Where were you born and raised?
Los Angeles, California. Born, raised, and been all over the world, but Los Angeles is just it's my place. I did move. I bought a house. Let's put it that way. I bought a house in Las Vegas. I still declare Los Angeles as my primary residence. So I do have a home in Las Vegas that I'm building up and doing a lot of things there. Trying to get that prepared, and I'll tell you too. Maybe a whole different segment when I get to that part, because I have some things in store for that for the whole bowling world. But go ahead.
Right. Hey, any siblings?
I have one sister. She's deceased. That was a part of the reason why I decided to move to Las Vegas, because we shared a home here as a family home out here in Los Angeles. And when she died 2.5 years ago, I decided to stretch my wings out, make a change of pace, and I want to hit my bucket list. And so that's what led me to Vegas, because Vegas allowed me to get the land that I needed necessary to do what I wanted to do. And yeah. So
look, Wanda Parker already want to know: do you bowl league now that you're a leader of TNBA?
I got back into bowling because I was a leader in TNBA. I was a top youth bowler. I was the top graduating high school senior in the state of California, winning it was the predecessor to the Coca-Cola and the Pepsi. It was the All-American Youth Championship. So I was the state representative, and went to the regionals and led that all the way to the last ball of the 10th frame of the title match. Oh, wow. I needed a strike, and I went in the pocket and left a little weak 8-10. But anyway, that was enough. Yeah. So, but I was a very good bowler. I didn't quite make it to the top elite status, but I was good. And I ended up with an injury at about age 23, 24 that took me completely out of my competitive nature in bowling. And so I've never been nowhere. I've never been nowhere near that. I actually averaged 208 in a traveling league. It was 28 weeks of travel league. We had 112 games in, 4 games a week, 208 in 16 different bowling centers. And this is in 1979, and the most powerful ball I had would be with this equivalent of a yellow dot, which is wow. Yeah. So there was a plastic, semi-soft plastic ball was the most deadly thing that I had in my arsenal. So and that was a challenge. People just took back those days. So
hey, everybody that's watching, man, hit that share button, man. Like I said, we want everybody to come on and hear Mr. President, our TNBA president talk, because like I said, this is going to be some information, and it's unedited. So hey, shoot your questions this way, because Dewann is here to answer all questions. Bowling, TNBA, life, whatever you have, we're gonna try to get the questions in. I know it might be a long show. We might have to do 2 segments, but we're gonna go. I know we're gonna go over an hour for sure. So y'all just be ready. Hey, my boy DP said, hey, what is your biggest bowling memory or achievement?
On the lanes, winning. I won 3 major titles as a youth. All of my bowling was as a youth. I didn't do anything competitively outside of youth. Like I said, at 23, I had a major injury, a nerve in my thumb that just took me out. And you can bowl in those days. You can bowl until you're age 22 as a youth. So I only have 1 year in as an adult before I have to hang my boat shoes up for the most part. Yeah, I would. But on the lanes, I didn't get to accomplish much because of that. But off the lanes and in the background, my biggest compliment was running the Great Elegy All-Stars, hands down, and seeing some of the talent that went through there, and the top, elite of elite bowlers. I had everyone from George Branham III came through my program, first African American ever won a PBA title. We had Randy Peterson. He was one of our, Randy Peterson bowled with us. Me, Chip, and Delana were the first all 3 African Americans to bowl in the Great Elegy All-Stars as a team. So we had an all African American team. And You know, again, the who's who in Southern California came through our league, and just running that and the prestige that was associated with running that, and those that went on to accomplish so much. That would be my biggest claim to fame.
There you go. Hey, Belinda Matthews asked, when you were bowling with the elite players, what average did you carry?
My top average was a 208 in travel. It was a traveling league. We went to 16 different bowling centers, and I finished fifth in the sheet with that 208. I think that was the record setting for me. And that was 1979. Really takes 1979. I think they had just introduced the most revolutionary ball of its time, which was the LT48. They hadn't even came up with urethane. Urethane hadn't even been invented at the time. Wow. So the LT48 was like a mishap hybrid type of ball. I don't know what the heck it was really for, but that was the most powerful ball that they came out with. But to average 208 in those days with we didn't have synthetic, we had wood lanes. Yeah.
There you go. Hey, Ken Rogers said, do you think TNBA will benefit from changing to a nonprofit organization as opposed to an incorporation?
Well, we are a not-for-profit organization. We did make an attempt to try to become a nonprofit organization. Unfortunately, it was a failed attempt. We had too much history and establishment behind us for the IRS to approve of us to change over from being a not-for-profit to being a nonprofit. We do have a nonprofit arm of our organization that allows us to have the benefits and flexibility for those who wish to participate and get the benefits of the nonprofit, being able to do tax write-offs and things of that nature. We are incorporated, so we are a corporation, but we are not for profit 501c7 versus a 501c3, which is a nonprofit.
Okay. What are your plans for the future after your presidency with TNBA?
I do plan to stay heavily involved in TNBA. I'd like people don't know, my involvement in TNBA goes back 45 years. Wow. 45 years. I was age 15-ish. So I think you guys can do a little math. I was one of I was the first member of the youth leadership program called the Junior Council back in 1977. We were brought together. I was 18 years old. 1977 came to Detroit to help organize and get youth involved in TNBA. And youth has always been 100% part of my life and organization and the things that I ran with. I was heavily involved in the youth bowling programs. Right. And so I've always been trying to indoctrinate and get and inject youth in our organization, especially since I became the president. I've assigned 3-4 directors that were under the age of 30 or 30-ish or under. And I put in some plans that allow our youth members to actually be actively voting and participating as delegates in our convention. They could actually replace some of the adult delegates with youth members, and we encourage them when we try to get some incentives to bring them over. But my youth plan for this organization is extensive, and unfortunately, it has a lot of inertia that needs to get approved and moved along, and it didn't go along as quickly as it should have gone. What are the roadblocks from growing? I would say, I'm reading a question for you, Brad.
It's all good. Hey, let's keep it going. We moving. Questions is going.
Yeah, the roadblocks that I believe, TNBA is an 81-year-old organization. We're now the oldest bowling organization in the country. So with the dissolution of ABC and WIBC some 12 years ago. Well, anyway, whenever they dissolved, I don't remember how long ago it was been. But nonetheless, the structure that's in place is it's embedded, it's in place, it's good, but it causes movement to be very small and intricate. It's just like trying to move an elephant, and then there's people that are in various places that act as anchors that try to keep that ship from sailing and moving. When you set up a new course and try to change it, they got their anchor down. They're making things as tough as possible and making that movement. So those are the challenges, but that is the structure that's in place, and it's not something that someone can just come in there and instantly wave a wand and make it go away. I was naive in believing that I could make a lot of that happen, and I was a little disappointed in how difficult it was to get some of the things that I really want to have incorporated going. So.
Hey, I got a great question from Greg Thompson Jr. Will TNBA ever let PBA members bowl tournaments? I find it disheartening that I cannot bowl TNBA tournaments just because of a piece of paper. The association was formed because blacks were not allowed to bowl in the ABC. Now here I am, an African American, but being shut out. Great question.
I hear you loud and clear, and if
wow.
I have always been a proponent of not excluding our professional black bowlers involving competition in our sport. And there was a long history of no restrictions of professionals participating in TNBA, and it literally went to a specific incident that occurred that that incident caused the whole organization to go through a complete uproar and ban PBA bowlers from participating in virtually everything that we have. When I was the president of the Los Angeles Senate, I created this program. I created a consortium of senates that were in the area called the Tri-Senates. It actually turned out to be more than 3 senates, but we still kept the name of Tri-Senates. And I very specifically put in the rules, or made sure that the rules that we had in there did not ban professional bowlers from participating. I think we did put a clause in there that says if you had won a title within the last 7 years, something like that, that you could not participate. Outside of that, you were eligible to participate. But the national tournaments and the tournaments was controlled by our national organization. At a specific convention, they passed restrictions that eliminated professionals from continuing to compete. I would love to see that go away. Our current tournament director has vowed to have a special division that was going to be an open division that would allow our PBA members to start participating, and it was supposed to be introduced in Las Vegas. It was going to be an open division that was available in Las Vegas for team event only, and those could get in. It would be a separate side action. Anybody can get in. It's PBA members as well as regular members. So we are aware of and want to bring back those PBA members. And I don't get long-winded, so try to stop me if I go too long.
No, you good. Hey, you're explaining because people want to know. So you're giving us good information and good answer. Because, like I said, Greg Thompson, that was an amazing question, man. And hopefully, like I said, we can get our people back to bowling. So, Greg, great question. If you have any more, keep shooting, man. DPS, are there any new changes in the future for TNBA? If so, can you explain what they are, if you're allowed to?
Yeah, I have a lot of proposals that I'm trying to get through that did not get an opportunity because the convention was again canceled. One of the proposals that I had in mind was having I want to call it a carte blanche membership, a super membership that you could pay as an extra fee that allows you to participate in any and all certified events. So if it's a certified league, certified tournament, and you pay this extra premium, you're entitled to earning awards in those events. So people go to their state tournaments and local USBC city tournaments and things like that, which are not TNBA certified tournaments, but they are USBC certified tournaments. They pay this premium, then they would be allowed to earn awards in that program from that perspective. There's many others like that. Okay.
Linda Matthews, do you think it's hard to get younger people more involved in TNBA because younger bowlers are more concerned with bowling and making money as opposed to the business side of the organization?
That they are. Everyone's interested in bowling because that's what we are. A bowling organization. Bowling is first and foremost for most of those people out there. And but I think that there is a way of getting them involved. And one of the ways that the way that I had approached it under my platform was, again, we have a youth leadership program that's in place right now. We've been bringing a half a dozen youth members to our conventions every single year, but they were just spectators.
Right.
So what we've done about 2 years ago is made a proposal that was passed that allows those youth members that are part of that youth council program, they're automatically voting delegates. And then we again allowed people that would qualify, the youth that would meet the criteria of being a youth leader in their local senate, that their local senate could actually bring them. So you could bring a 16-year-old or a 17-year-old to the convention, get them involved in the leadership part of the youth programs, and then bring them over to the convention and replace one of your adult delegates with one of these 16, 15, or 17-year-old, and let them actively participate and see how the organization runs. That's where I got my very first shot. I actually had an injection, what do you call those, syringes that had TNBA inside of it. They put it in my veins, and at the age of 17, and that's how I got indoctrinated with TNBA. It's been with me ever since, at the age of 17. Right. So we need to get them out there the same way that I got hooked and involved, and I'm matriculated all the way from being that youth bowler all the way to becoming now the president of the organization. And we need to have more people right now in the 15, 16, 17 age range getting involved, and let them go through and matriculate up. Okay, I'm gonna bring up something else. Okay, go ahead. How does one become a delegate? Go ahead. How did you read the question?
Yeah, Kenny Rogers. Hey, how does one become a delegate to participate in convention and have a voice during the meeting to show how some changes may help TNBA grow from a business aspect?
Yes, the delegate process is very straightforward. You're a member, you bought your membership card, and on your membership card, it tells you what Senate you belong to. And at that, every Senate is mandated to have some type of a meeting throughout the year, a certain number of meetings per year, and they should be adhering to that. You must attend a certain percentage of those meetings for you to qualify to be a delegate. They want you involved with talking to your local and working with your local. And then if you go to those local meetings, you're allowed to become a delegate, because the delegate ratio is, I think it's every 40 members in the Senate, you're entitled to one delegate, plus your Senate president. Something to that effect. So that's how you need to get involved at the local level, and then you go up from there.
All right. Kim Green asks, hey, why not have a division for singles also? When we're talking about going back to the PBA question.
You talk about the PBA. Well, this is a start. The start was to start with the team event, and there'll be again a separate. You can make teams with open, no max on the average, and there will be side actions and things of that nature. But they want to start with that and see how successful that's going to be, and the demand for that. So that's just where they wanted to start it. That's all I can say. But yes, we would like to expand. So that clearly, if it's showing some promising, let me get rid of some of this. I got a weird shadow. Let me try to change that. There we go. Yeah, so we would like to expand on that if it's warranted. Absolutely.
Okay. Kim also asks, is there a lifetime membership fee for TNBA?
Good question. That's another thing that I had on my agenda. One of the proposals that I had was to create a lifetime membership that you pay a one-time lifetime membership and be a member for life. So yeah, you can purchase lifetime membership. There is an earned one by those that have done meritorious contributions to the organization, and they've bestowed and given life membership. But we wanted to have people, because I'm a member of a fraternity. I have a fraternity. We're blue and white as well. You can figure that out. But nonetheless, our fraternity has a model where you can pay for life membership. And I think that we should do something similar to that for TNBA, and I have proposed to do something of that nature.
Okay. I have a question that's not on the list. You have a lot of proposals. I know you want to have a lot of changes in TNBA. Mm-hmm. Being the president, is that just look? Is it just a figurehead and title of TNBA, or do you really have a lot of say so into what you want to make happen?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
I'm just asking.
As the president, I'm the CEO or the chairperson of the organization, and so my role is to administer and run the meetings, and I do have a cabinet. The cabinet consists of myself, vice president, the executive secretary, treasurer, and the national director of tournaments. That are the cabinet members. And within our constitution and our bylaws and our rules and regulations, they stipulate the powers and certain things that are managed by the convention body itself, things that the convention decides on. They also talk about things that are handled by what's called our executive board, which consists of the Senate presidents, the directors, and as well as the cabinet members. And then it says when those two organizations are out of session, the cabinet has certain rights and privileges that can carry on and do certain things on behalf of the organization in the absence of the executive committee, as well as in the absence of the convention. And we're doing that right now. So you're seeing some of that activity occurring because there's a special clause in our Constitution that says that if we're within a 2-year period, less than 2 weeks away, and we don't have a solidified convention, that the cabinet is given the control to make that happen, because it's something so urgent that we have to take control and make that happen. And that's where we're in that mode right as we speak because of the pandemic.
Okay. Hey, Kenny Rogers asks, do you think having a think tank committee to brainstorm and develop ideas to grow TNBA will help?
Absolutely. And I have, yes, absolutely. And I've always been a completely open door president. So anybody that has anything they would like to suggest, they can always send me an email, call me on the phone. My phone number is listed and posted in every publication, as well as in our Bowling magazine and our website. I take calls and I return calls. I take emails and I return emails. So I have an open ear. I can't promise you 100% of everything that goes in, but I tell you, there's a lot of beautiful ideas that have been presented to me, and I've taken them to bat and made them happen. So yes, absolutely. But a committee, yeah, let's just say that. Yes, let's make the short answer yes. That would be very helpful.
There you go. Art Jones Jr. said, do you think the lack of transparency with prize and pot funds have hurt the participation in bowling?
Well, the National Bowling Association and all of its nationally controlled tournaments is 100% transparent. We will post all that information. So I don't know where this is coming from, that we're hiding or we're taking additional monies off. Everything that we do is transparent and put out there. You'll know the total number of participants in each pot. You'll know the total monies that each person puts in, and you'll know the total amount that's being dispersed out. And it's all of our income for every single side pot, every single bracket, every single entry is all accountable. We have a complete and thorough audit processes in place that audits the ongoings of every single tournament that's under the auspices of the National Bowling Association, of the national organization. Now, I do want to point out one thing that people get very confused with a lot. I'm saying the national things that's under the national organization's control. We have affiliates, senates, and those affiliates are allowed to run and conduct and put on their own events. We do not, they should be consistent and be in concert with us, but we do not have jurisdiction over the way they run their tournaments. They may do things different. They may set up side pots and just, I mentioned that I was the ones that inspired the development of the Tri-Senate. That Tri-Senate organization, I told you some of the liberties that I took as the president of that Tri-Senate organization, where we did not ban PBA bowlers. And so that gives you an example of what we did at the local level or the regional, somewhat regional level that's different than from the national organization in and of itself.
Right.
So and people use the term TNBA generically, and if you kind of look at it the same way, you have a local USBC city tournament, and you also have a local USBC state tournament, and you have a USBC national championship tournament. We're the ones that's controlling the national championship tournaments, and we also control the regional tournaments that comprise of the 4 regions: West, Central, East, and Southern. But the other tournaments that are being held are usually held by affiliates of the National Bowling Association.
Okay. Hey, Kim Green asks, since we are in social distance status, what happens for this year in becoming a delegate? Is the time period requested waived?
Well, first of all, that is why we are not having this year's convention, because we have not been cleared to have a convention setting in a timely fashion that's suitable for us to have our convention. And we don't have another technical issue. We don't have a clause in our Constitution that allows us to utilize and incorporate some of the new technologies of virtual meetings and virtual attendees participating in our convention. And I was very, very disappointed at that. Obviously, I went on a limb thinking that we did have that, and had to come back 2 weeks later and put egg in my face and say that no, we don't have that capability. We don't have that clause in our Constitution. Therefore, we can't do it.
Right. Hey, Belinda Matthews asks, what other career paths have you had other than in the bowling arena?
Well, you guys may or may not know that I am actually a rocket scientist. I mean, literally. I got an engineering degree in it's a thermal systems specialist engineering degree. I worked at the Lockheed in the propulsion division on a multitude of aircraft. I also worked at Rockwell on the GPS satellite program, the space shuttle program, and a top secret Ronald Reagan Star Wars weaponry program. I was very instrumental in the development of some aspects of the current frontline fighter, the F-22. Again, I touched probably about 16 the GPS satellites that are out there, and some special missions on the space shuttle program that I was involved in. So that was my original career venture, engineering. And I took a lot of what I did is I took a lot of engineering and because I have a subspecialty in engineering of computer applications for solving engineering. And so I took a lot of that computer skills and solved bowling issues and developed a whole company around software for the bowling industry. So I was actually, my legacy programs go back 36 years.
There you go. Robert Danzy Jr. asks, hey, why do you think younger bowlers who have had a voice don't push TNBA and bring new bowlers in?
Because they don't have the love and desire embedded in them yet. I think if they heard the stories, they knew some of the things that were all about, and or even have some icons that they could point to that are inspirational, that might be able to change things. But and that's the true nature of getting young people involved in anything, not just TNBA, but bowling or other activities and stuff. It's hard to get their attention. I do think that there is something that we're lacking. I can touch base on that. I'm a technologist, as you can. Like I said, I'm a rocket scientist per se, but I believe that we are grossly behind in our use of technology within TNBA.
Right.
I've spearheaded several projects that are trying to bring us more in line with the types of technology that we should be utilizing for this organization. But we should not, in the year 2020 or 2021 coming up, have our entry fees for our national tournament exclusively, the process is exclusively by mail with a check, a hard check that must be mailed with the entry forms into to get an entry. We should have right now apps that you want to bowl in our tournament. You open up the app. This is how you get the younger people. This is how you get more. The demographics of our championship tournament is far too much on the elderly side, because you're not catering to the methods that young people use to get around. My daughter, she's 26 years old. I doubt if she's ever addressed an envelope, put a stamp on it, and mailed it in her life.
Wow.
And we're asking people to do that. Oops, I got locked up. Can you see me?
Well, we hear you. Okay. We hear you.
All right, looks like my image is frozen. But so why are we asking? How are we going to get those millennials involved if they're not using the mechanisms that they are accustomed to using? We've got to have those mechanisms in place for our youth to be involved in working with our tournaments and things.
I strongly agree with that. Ron Sims Jr. asks, I'm sure you touched on this earlier. You said something, but he says, "What is your vision for TNBA, short term and long term?" He says, "Sorry if you have already answered this."
Okay.
Just give us your short term. What is your short term goal for TNBA?
To incorporate current technologies more handily, to bring those, make it easier for us to process our tournaments. We're going to have more entries. We have more hurdles and stumbling blocks to get to and process and get into our tournament than are necessary. Having an app that you can instantly, you're on the lanes with somebody, instantly go through and get everybody that you want to get together and participate in a tournament, sign up right then and there and submit it electronically and get your entry in. That's got to happen, as well as getting our youth, more and more our youth involved in every aspect of the organization. You can't see my video at all, huh?
No, I hear you though, and you're just frozen. So if you want to go in, look, you want to go out and come back in real quick, you can.
No, go ahead. I'll just keep it like that. You guys will see me.
Yeah.
My computer in. For some reason, I think I forgot to plug it in.
Yeah. Hey, look, we're going to go to a little personal question. Hey, was bowling your number one sport? If not, what was it?
Good question. I like that one. I thought I was good at basketball. And I was heavily involved. I mean, my home was the mecca for our neighborhood. And I had a little basketball court in the backyard. And it was, what are you going to have in the backyard? You're not going to have a full court, right? You're just going to have a little small basket and everything. So I was good one-on-one. I was good, is that I lost me completely, huh? Can you hear me now?
No, we hear you.
Okay. Well, anyway, I was good on one-on-one, two-on-two, three-on-three, and then that was all the way through. But I never played organized basketball. And when I went to high school, I went out there to try out for our basketball team, and I just knew I was going, because I had long arms, I could rebound, I was defensive, I had it all. I thought.
Hold on. Hey, Dewann, look. Oh, wait. What I'm about to do, I'm going to kick you out and come right back in. I'm going to talk to my viewers.
Okay.
Hey, guys, I'm sorry. Dewann had some technical difficulties real quick. But, yeah. Hey, guys, share the video. Let's try to get Dewann as many questions as possible so we can try to, get TNBA back to where it was. The interview is not over. I'm just waiting on Dewann to log back in. And there he is right there. Bang. There you go.
Hey, back.
Yeah, you bet.
One thing I did not know that I could not do was dribble full court. I never did it. And so I didn't even make the team because I couldn't dribble full court.
Wow.
I figured out that drill. But I was good underneath. I was good rebound. I was good layups. I was good, defensively. You could get that at long arms. But anyway, so when I didn't make the team 10th grade, I just took bowling seriously and got really involved in bowling. I was very disappointed. And And it wasn't until he just kept, and I never told him that. He just thought that I chose bowling over basketball. And it wasn't until I won that high school, the graduating senior, the state championship for high school graduating seniors, and got an all-expense paid trip to Oklahoma City to represent the state of California, that he came out, saw me for the very first time ever bowl. And like I said, I led that tournament from the first ball to the very last ball in the 10th frame, needed a strike, and got that 8-10.
Yeah. Hey,
one on my side.
Hey, growing up in the greater Los Angeles area in bowling, how competitive were the junior programs and adult leagues?
Oh my God, the junior programs were second to none. I've laid that out. We've had over under my directorship as the executive director of the program, I've had over 700-800 kids go through or youth go through my program, and they're the who's who in bowling.
Now, right there. Hold on. You said you had the who's who in bowling. They had great games. My question is now, as far as education, how many of them went to college and succeeded?
I went to college. I got a full athletic scholarship from bowling.
No, not you. Your bowlers that you coach. You guys, because I know you had a lot of great bowlers out there. But how often did you guys push education, and how many of them went from high school and competed in college with the education?
Many of them. Many of them. I can tell you this. One of the, and I'll start with this, and maybe this is just bowling in general. It's not just a Southern California thing, but bowling is one of the most unique sports in the fact that it allows you to earn scholarship dollars from the time you're taught until the time you get out of high school. I had one of the kid in my program, Mark French. I don't know where he's at nowadays, but from the time he graduated high school, he had accumulated, and this was in 2000, something like 2004, 2005 timeframe. So this is 15 plus years ago. He had accumulated over $47,000 in scholarship earmarked funds from his participation in bowling, and I forgot which school he ended up going to. I don't think he went to Wichita, but he went to. I think he might have tried Wichita. I can't remember. So I have so many success stories. I can't remember who went where. But yeah, many of our youth members went on to collegiate programs and became competitive in collegiate as well as Team USA, and on the pro tour and amateur settings as well.
Okay, so now like I said, you had some to go to college, you had some bowl professionally. How many come back and give to the community to try to help push bowling more? Do you guys even preach that? Do you reach out to them and say, hey, why don't you guys come back?
I believe they're embedded in all of bowling. I have four members of my youth bowling program that are at the national office at USBC in Arlington, Texas. We have some of the top people in at Brunswick, top people in Storm, top people that wasn't in Hammer. They all came out of our youth bowling programs. So I think they are giving back. They're heavily involved in the industry and the management status, as well as they do come back and they're. Yes, not everyone. No, not everyone, but there's enough of us that really take heed and love to do that. Okay.
Hey, Anthony Hill said, do you feel TNBA can't compete with all these other local tournaments that's going out now?
I believe that TNBA has the means of competing with virtually everything that's out there. We're the second largest bowling organization in the country. And doing it right, we can put on, people take us seriously because we do have tournaments that are appealing and have the prize monies and things like that people want, as well as the side actions that people want to come out and compete against. So I'd say yes, we can. I know that there's the underground bowling and several other organizations out there. They have competing in NDO and things like that. and I have a take on that too. I'm pro bowling. First of all, it's not just all TNBA. It's just pro bowling. What we want to do, and from my perspective, what our goal is, and what my personal mission is to make bowling as competitive, to create competition for our bowlers, to make it viable for them to want to stay involved and get involved and create the venues and the tournaments and things that allow us to enjoy our sport and to get rewarded from our sport. So that's my thing. We need to push a bigger presence and existence of bowling in general. And so whether it's TNBA that does that or some of the other organizations that are doing it, we just need to make competitive bowling a viable sport and bring the heydays back. There's a lot of history behind bowling.
Well, the only way to bring the heydays back is, first of all, well, in my opinion, bowling TNBA tournaments, is to bring in people that's friendly, bring in people like somebody that wants to talk to people. You got a lot of these people that walk through this TNBA scene and this not even really speak. They come take your number and keep going. We don't want to feel like we're just a number. And I'm sorry if I'm preaching because
no, I hear it. I hear you. And
like I said, that's what I feel like sometimes when we bowl these tournaments. They come down. Can I see your card? Where's your this? They take it and they keep pushing. Dude, that's just a number. I might as well be locked up somewhere if that's where you're gonna feel.
Yeah, we do. We hear that. We have heard that, and it's not going on deaf ears either. Okay, I can tell you that. I know that our national director of tournaments has taken actions, and she's heard that, and she's now keep in mind we do have someone that runs our tournaments, and that's our national director of tournaments, and I'm very tournament acclimated, but that is not my responsibility directly. So I do try to, as I was pointed out, stay in my lane. and I will point some of those things over to our tournament directors to take action on those things. But we do hear you. Okay.
All right. Hey, like I said, I'm not trying to point one finger at nobody. We just want to see TNBA succeed as a whole. So that but like I said, we're not. At the end of the day, I can speak for myself and I can speak for a lot of other bowlers. That at the end of the day, we will still come bowl TNBA. So with that being said, we're gonna go to Wanda Parker's question. How does a member get on a national committee with TNBA, and are there prerequisites needed?
Yes, prerequisite. Say you're interested.
That's it.
Come talk to somebody. Say you're interested in being and get involved. We're looking for volunteers. We're looking for people, especially youthful. Wanda, this is an ongoing joke with me. I still get nicknamed as, I'm sorry, this little dot's going across my face. I gotta get this my shades. Well, that's even worse, huh? Oh boy. Well, anyway, because I started off in the youth bowling program, they still give me a title of the kid, and I'm retired. And Wanda just identified that she's retired. And so we need to, we talk about, we think that we're still youth. I feel youthful, but unfortunately, I'm one of the ones that's being identified, targeted as those old fogies that don't know what the heck we're doing and try to move aside and let the young people come in and take place. But to get actively involved, you just really have to show an interest. Say that you'd like to be part of this and volunteer. Our organization, 98%, 99% of our organization is built on volunteerism.
Okay.
So that's what it takes.
There you go. Tyrone Julian asked, should TNBA open up its own bowling center?
I don't see a purpose for that. A bowling center running it, We've had many proprietors that's been involved in our organization that are that are leaders in the program or leaders within TNBA, but I don't see any benefit of having a TNBA bowling center per se. I don't know what we get out of that. It'll just be one location, one center.
Hey, here we go. How does one become a Senate representative? Our area needs representatives in a bad way. We have had people who were supposed to represent and never have even turned in people's scores. This has put a very bad taste in bowlers' mouths, and they are less likely even sanctioned, let alone bowl a TNBA tournament.
I'm gonna try to scoot the wrong way. Yeah, there we go. That's it. Okay. We have the Senate, the local affiliates have responsibilities that they're supposed to adhere to, and we know and acknowledge that there are many Senates that are not adhering to it and having their meetings as often and as open as they should. We have a field representative program that those Senates that are out of compliance should be reported to, and then we can look into and try to get them jump started and get them in the right direction. But you clearly should raise your voice and let it be known and send it up the channel. You have to send it through to our national office, our executive secretary treasurer, or file it with our national director of field representatives of our vice president, Dr. Michael Boykins. So you can just lodge something to him and have him try to investigate and see what he can do to try to get your Senate in compliance and get them moving along. Okay. If that seems to be the issue.
There you go. Hey, Art Jones asks, hey, TNBA is running on friendship and not merit. Us who still bowl is because we try to support, not because it's the thing we can miss. Do you agree with that?
That's his sentiments. I believe that we are a viable organization that has. I believe that we are positioning ourselves as and differentiate ourselves from the other organization, USBC, as being an organization that provides benefits to our members that are second to none, which includes our awards program. And some other little perks that's also given us by being a member of our organization, includes a blanket insurance policy that covers your death, accidental death and dismemberment, and some other little, it's quite a few little tiny perks like that that's associated with being a member of the organization. But the biggest and best one is the fact that you get to participate in our terms that are exclusively open to only our members. So what we tend to do, what I feel that our marketing aspect should be, is offering our services as the premier bowling organization over and above USBC that offers these premier services that you can't get from USBC and participate in. So that's the way we position ourselves. And,
okay.
But I don't know if I answered his question properly.
Hey, but no, hey, I know. Look, I know for sure TNBA gets stuck in their old ways. Is it possible to rewrite some of those old rules and vote on them to become a better change? Or are you guys just stuck with these bylaws and you're just like, dude, we're gonna keep those old bylaws and then try to add a little wrinkle to something?
81 years ago, when they created this organization, they created a process to make those changes, and we are still implementing and going through there. Everything can be changed, but it is a process, and the process causes a bit of a slowdown in having it walked through and approved. But it is a process, and if it wasn't for those processes in place, we wouldn't have existed 81 years. So it's a good bad thing. It makes us a little bit slower to move, but it also keeps us intact and focused on moving forward. But every single change that you wish to propose can be proposed. And you just need to understand the system and the structure associated with it. And that's where getting involved is becoming a delegate and seeing the processes and the deadlines for making amendments to the Constitution come into play, and reading the Constitution. All this is readily available to you, and open to suggestion and implementing those changes.
All right, Kenny Rogers asked, do you think if TNBA national, regional, and local will benefit from employing the Sarbanes-Oxley Act if financial reporting and furnishing that if on the website similar to a 10K report?
I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. I don't know what. I don't mean to. That's just my ignorance. I don't know what the Sarbanes-Oxley Act. Kenneth, you sound like you need to be involved in our organization, so you can bring some things to fruition.
Ken is involved in the organization, and Ken, I can speak highly for Ken. Ken has a lot of information, but a lot of times people don't step up to TNBA because TNBA it just shuts everybody down.
I know, no, that's not true. You need to, like I said, it is an established process. They have the process of actually submitting change to the Constitution, proposing change to the Constitution, and how it's presented to the convention, and how it's adopted or rejected or sent back for to be improved or to sent back to the maker for various reasons. So that is the process that is in place. And you do have to go through those steps, and unfortunately, that is the way it is. It is that way at the national.
Okay,
but I'd like to know. These are some very the sexy words. I just don't know what that implies. I would love to know.
So with that being said, who is the person to go talk to? Like, say, you're the president, but who do we have to talk to? We have to talk to somebody on the committee? Do we have to talk to the board members? Who is it that we talk to try to get this to the ball really rolling?
Well, you have to show your interest, and not just show it. You have to be actively involved, and it starts from the local level. So I'm hoping that these talks right here are opening the eyes of people to understand the process, and that is the process that's in place, and that's the steps that's necessary to make your wishes come to happen. I had a dream, and my dream is partially being implemented because I wanted to see it come to happen. So my dream was trying to have a youth. Much more youthful members within our organization, and so again, I've gotten the first few steps through. Unfortunately, my tenure as a president will be up by the time it really comes to manifest itself into something that's worthwhile. But you got to start. You got to at least put it out there and get it going. But start at your local Senate level and get involved and come to the conventions, and you get on the floor and people hear you. They understand.
There you go. TNBA needs to run like a Fortune 500 company. Remember the good old times, or running the organization like you did 81 years ago is a recipe for disaster. The thing we definitely know about bowling is you rarely get a good thing back to being in a league or a tournament.
Okay. We have transparency. We have our reports that and on our audits that review every single program. So I mean, the Fortune 500 company, I believe that we adhere to that. We're mandated to adhere to that. So I from that perspective, I believe we have all that in place. You just may not be aware of it. It's out there, it's available, and viewable as well.
Okay, there you go. Let's see, but hold on, I had another question. Hey, we're gonna go back to a little personal questions. Hey, Who are some of, like I said, you're from the greater LA area. Because we're
Yes.
going to talk about TNBA and we're going to talk about some personal. Back in your day, hey, who are some of the top bowlers back then? Who could you name?
Oh my goodness! Again, the most famous bowler that ever came out was a female bowler from an organization named Donna Automac. I don't know if you knew Donna Automac. Anybody? He was, um, uh, and this illustrates the frustration of our sport. Donna Automac was a complete dominant force. He was a 5-time or 6-time bowler of the year, bowler of the decade. She outdistanced every single female professional bowler on the tour. She won 19 titles, 5 or 6 majors. Um, and she was on top of the world, second to none. She was again like 5 straight years as the bowler of the year, and I think 6 or 7 years total bowler of the year titleists, and I don't know how many all-star teams. And she completely left bowling because if she would have been where she was at in any other sport,
Uh,
she'd have a nice lay house in Newport Beach and a summer house in the roads and all this other stuff. But she was a complete dominant force, and she was quoted as saying she couldn't even buy a house.
wow.
And she's on top of the world. She's the #1 female player in the entire world in the sport of bowling, and could not sustain a comfortable living. So she literally had to walk away from the whole sport.
Okay.
She's a good friend of mine now, and I think I had a little highlight of her on Facebook about a month ago from something that popped up years ago when I presented her with Star of Stars. We had these little thing. I call her she's one of our Star of the Stars, but she's probably our most famous member and most highly acclaimed member and a Hall of Famer from all over. But our people that came through our program have been Don Automac, Mark Baker, Randy Peterson, Eric Forkel, George Bradham. George is after my time, but that actually rubbed shoulders with was, and then oh gosh, so many. I know I'm gonna miss so many. It's pathetic, but many touring players.
There you go. Hey, Martha, now with TNBA, what was the reason? What was your reasoning for running for president? What did you want to see different? Because clearly you run for president for a reason. So what was your reasoning for running for TNBA president?
I felt that I owed the organization. I thought I had a lot of skills that I could bring to the organization to help give it a better professional image. I wanted to grow the organization, build awareness of our organization, make more and more people aware of who TNBA is, become more common name within the industry itself. I felt that I had a lot of industry contacts that were already embedded in place, and I felt that becoming a leader within TNBA, that I could utilize many of those industry contacts to help our organization, to help create some synergy, and that's blossomed, and it's been great. I love many of the things that's happened in my tenure as president. The Rodman Bowling Ball. I've been so okay. Bill Rodman is one of my idols, and he was presented to me by my mentor, a guy named Leroy Williams. He was the head of our youth bowling program when I was a kid, and he's the one that recommended me and sent me over to the leadership program within TNBA when I was 18 years old. And he told us the story of Bill Rodman, and I was in awe. The very first African American to roll a 300 game. It was back in 1940s, and then he was a complete standout amongst his peers, and then to reach and accomplish so many things that he did in his career, and then to lose his life at the age of 48, I believe it was.
Wow.
and to accomplish the things that he did was just phenomenal. And prior to that, he had both his legs amputated. He was still out there on the floor in a wheelchair trying to teach youth and other members the fine arts of bowling until he died. And so that he told me those inspiring stories as a youth, and that inspired me. And I've always, so once when I became a leadership in the leadership program, I made sure that the Rodman directors, who didn't even know the story, they were just running. They didn't even know who Rodman was. Some of them, I'm saying, some of them really did not know that. And so, from the time I was vice president, I made a speech to each and every one of the squads that I attended for all the Rodman tournaments to let everyone know who Bill Rodman was and who they're bowling and why this tournament was named after him. And then, given an opportunity, Hammer came to us and said, "We want to build another bowling ball. And what do you want to name that bowling ball?" And everybody was coming up with all these crazy names, not crazy names, but just, abstract names and stuff like that. And I just came out outright blatantly said, "We need to name a ball the Rodman." And that's how we got the Rodman bowling ball.
There you go. Hey, Denise Sloan said, with TNBA, it seems like local Senates can be cliquish. How could nationals fix that? Because it seems to like the organization, whereas the local USBC associations, the rules are the rules, no matter who you are.
The process of grievancing, having a grievance with your local Senate is to reach out to what's called your field representative. There's a field representative for each one of the 4 regions. So we have the Western region, Eastern region, Southern region, and Central region. And each one of those field reps, they're responsible for listening to and investigating and trying to rectify problems that are going on with Senates. They're also responsible for growing the organization and finding new members and developing and nurturing new Senates as well. So, but that's what I would start with, something like that. Read you can get a copy of our Constitution and our rules and understand what the organization is all about and challenge those that are not in compliance. And we have a structure in place that if something's out of being out of compliance at the Senate level, that we do go there and try to get them back on track.
There you go. Hey, did Hammer sponsor TNBA financially? Did they help with the prize funds, etc., or did they just donate, bowling balls?
Well, they kind of go hand in hand, but yes, they've funded our scholarship program. That's part of our contract. Is they actually have a designated amount that they feed into our youth scholarship programs. But the bowling balls that they donate, we use those as fundraisers, and those fundraisers are allowing the organization to grow from within that. So that's where their role is, as well as they have created numerous TNBA signature bowling balls, and we receive royalties off of those bowling balls for TNBA. So that again helps feed into the organization and allows us to grow and to build. And ideally, what we want to do is have enough have sponsors. This is my mission, and I can tell you some of the things that I put in place to try to make that happen. But we're trying to build the awareness of our organization and how worthy we are of being sponsored, and what benefit potential sponsors have by sending us money and things of that nature, so that we can better the prize monies and make it more influential for people to come and participate in our events. And one of the things that we
all right, so with Hammer, being TNBA sponsor, and now Brunswick buying Hammer, what kind of talks have you guys had? Is Brunswick going to continue?
Yes. Well, we have an existing contract that's still that has not expired. So Brunswick inherited that contract when they as part of the acquisition of the Ebonite company. So they have acknowledged that they are that TNBA is one of their assets, that they will be fulfilling and living up to the letter of the agreements that we have in place. And then we're up for negotiations at the end of those contracts and see where it goes from there. So
Okay.
I don't have the dates in my mind. I have to look those up, but I know that we have at least another year or so on our hammer contract.
Okay, there you go, guys. Like I said, this is Dewann Clark, our TNBA president. Guys, I know there's a lot more information you guys really want to know, and just ask questions because Dewann has answered just about all the questions I tried to put up there that I've seen. He's done a great job by putting them on the spot. And dude, all I can say is kudos to him. Because being the president, everyone thinks being president means, oh, he comes down to the last decision. That's not what that means because it's so many people up under him, and that's where all these answers come from. So, Dewann, I just want to thank you, man. I really do.
Okay, well, more than welcome with that. One of the things that I was getting ready to get to is the fact that one of my missions is to again build better awareness of TNBA. And it's a multifaceted way of trying to make that happen. One of the things that we put in place was expansion of our live streaming of some of our tournaments and events. And our goal is to showcase the tournaments that we have and try to get more people involved to be showcased, as well as get more viewership, and then get sponsors to feed into adding commercials or something to inject into the tournament to allow it to have bigger and better prize funds, make it worthwhile, and grow the concept of competitive bowling. So the bigger prize money's out there is going to entice more and more people to get involved in bowling. I've always been a proponent of that. I've created a multitude of tournaments and events and activities that are eye openers, to say the least. That bring out the bowlers from the woodworks. People, way back in the day, I created an event that it was a mixed doubles tournament that we had at Midtown Bowling Center in Los Angeles area. And in the early 80s, I created it, and in 3 years' time, paying a $15 to $20 entry fee, we paid out over a 3-year period in excess of $2 million in prize monies. That's off a $15 entry fee in the early 80s.
Wow.
We were paying by the end of, and I handed that tournament over on a silver platter to the general manager after I was doing that while I was a college student as well.
There you go.
And then when I finally got my engineering thing, I handed it to the general manager there, and I was still running things in the background. But the tournament grew to having a $25,000 top prize for a mixed doubles team, paying $25 entry fee.
Yeah. Hey, I got a question for you. Does TNBA hold tournaments for sickle cell awareness, breast cancer awareness, diabetes, all these events? Because I know we have a lot of people bowling that may have this, or that may know somebody that has this as close to them. And I see a lot of tournaments like the Lucy, striking for a cause, things like that. Does TNBA hold events like this? If not, why?
We have traditionally, and the local Senate, I can speak from that perspective. As the president of the Los Angeles Senate, we had as our adopted charity was Sickle Cell Anemia of Southern California. And we held a tournament every single year to raise money on behalf of the sickle cell anemia for in the Southern California area. And it was a very, very successful tournament. It went on for years and years and years. And then we ran it every year that from way before I was president until my tenure as president of the Los Angeles Senate was over. And then after that, it kind of fell to the wayside. So it has not been, to my knowledge, it has not been a program that's been done on the local level. But that was on the local level. And on a national level, yes, we've also had very traditional long-time sponsors. Not sponsors, but we have sponsored um, quite a few fundraisers, and even on an annual basis at our convention, we actually do take up a collection for whatever city where our convention is in. We have a donation of a can drive or financial donation to take to some of the local shelters at the city that we have our convention in. So the delegates amongst themselves, typically thousands of dollars in donations are collected at the convention setting, and as well as canned goods and other products, things like that, and they're given out to one of the local charities in the area. Okay. So yes, it's hard to find those things out.
Because only reason why I asked that question is because as TNBA, we may, TNBA may hold their hand out and like, hey, come bowl this tournament, come bowl this tournament. And the cause is for what? To go meet and mingle with friends. But like, we steadily want more and more bowlers to come out. And in order to get more and more bowlers to come out, we have to do more and more for the community. And
we need to publicize what I just told you needs to be publicized far more than what it is. It's another one of those things that's swept under the rug people aren't even aware of.
Yeah.
Our delegates know it every year, but people outside of our convention, you guys didn't know that we were, making these big, massive donations to the local communities that we have our conventions located in. But that's something we need to take more of. We need to publicize and do more PR work in that area. I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah. There you go. That was just something that I thought of,
Yes.
So, hey, any other questions for Dewann? I know there's a lot, but shoot your questions, guys. I'm just one bowler, and TNBA is way bigger than I am. I don't know the story about it. I know little things here and there, but as a bowler, I can say I appreciate TNBA being here for us.
Again, creating a venue for our bowlers to have competitive bowling. That's one of my missions in bowling in general, because bowling has been so good to me, and so I'm using TNBA as one of many processes to give what bowling has done to me back, and get back to bowling. Like I said, I had a full athletic scholarship and went through college, got my engineering degree off of from bowling. So it's people aren't aware of that those exist, and and this is way back in the 70s. So
there you go. Any way to create a smaller annual state TNBA tournament with less expensive entry costs?
State TNBA tournaments. We have regionals that are controlled by the national. So we don't have a state tournament per se. But I know there's something that I like to bring out in running tournaments, being a tournament director for many, many years. There's a variety of different ways that people view expenses. So to run a local event, a weekend local event, and the staff and people that are managing and tournament directors and things like that are putting on a tournament of that type, the costs are minimal by comparison to putting on a regional tournament and or a national tournament, where you're actually bringing in people that have been trained and been consistently used throughout the time to make just the processes, they're familiar with the processes and not have to relearn everything. The expenses associated with that are far greater than that of a local weekend event. That mixed doubles tournament that I was telling you about, the entry fee was $25, and the total expense was, if it wasn't, it was either 50 cents or $1, something like that was the total expenses for that tournament, and we use that for strictly advertising, and all the rest of that outside of lines went towards the prize money. That's why we're able to pay $25,000 off a $25 entry fee for a mixed doubles team. And we paid out each of those tournaments. We're paying out $150,000 to $200,000 each every year.
There you go. Ms. Gohagan. What up, Mama Gohagan?
Yes.
My question is, why do we get away from the organization being for us? It seems as though a lot of the rules were done away with in order to open up the organization for everybody.
That's I've caught sediments of that concept and thought. I've seen that viewed or voiced by yourself and several others. Yes, there's been some in particular, you look at the regional or the scratch tournaments, our Rodman's and our Reed Hawthorne National Singles Championship tournament. They used to have a clause in there that you had to bowl in the TNBA league to be able to participate in the tournament and have a TNBA card and everything. Well, that in essence is still in place because I don't want to say that. People can buy cards on the spot, so they have opened it up. But the fact of the matter is, bowling as a population has been diminished dramatically. In 1980, at the peak of bowling, it was over 8 million certified members in the. Get the shadows out of the way. Let me try to. Anyway, there was 8 million or so bowlers, and that was our population of bowlers. Whereas right now it's 1.5 million. So we're like 1/10 of what we used to be as far as number of participants that are out there participating in our sport. So the sheer volume and population of those that are involved in our sport have gone down dramatically, and so there's a relaxation on where we were turning people down with those the requirements. We had full complement tournaments with relaxed rules. We're not able to fill up our tournaments. So that's one concept. But I do want to touch one thing that I want to kind of bring out. Let me try to get this a little bit. I'm just getting too. Oh, maybe that helps. Okay. I was getting too dark. Anyway, our organization was founded in 1939, and it had a title of the National Negro Bowling Association. That was our original title, the National Negro Bowling Association. 4 years later, they very specifically, emphatically, and intentionally dropped the word Negro. And they did that for a purpose, for a reason. That was a message right there in and of itself, saying that our organization is all inclusive. We're not trying to be isolated to only being the Negro Bowling Association. We want to be all inclusive. We want to be better than those other guys that had clauses that says if you were not a Caucasian member, we're not Caucasian, you cannot be a member. So we want to be better than that. We open ourselves up to anyone and everyone, men, women, of any and all colors. And so with that being said, people have had this ingrained thing that we wanted to continue to have nothing but competition that is geared for, quote, us. I quoted in some kind of I can't remember what the media was, but I quoted out some demographics that we had in one of the studies that I had conducted when I first became president. And that is that our organization, and I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but I'm just going to paraphrase approximately, that our organization consists of approximately 40 some odd percent African American, 30 some odd percent Caucasian, and then the others fit in between, fit in there. So we have a very strong presence of predominantly. The majority of our members are African Americans.
Okay. And remember, I spoke on it earlier that I just didn't want to be a number. And from kind of what Mama Gohagan just asked, you responded and said, we went from 8 million bowlers to 1 point something million. So the number drastically dropped, right?
The population of bowling dropped. Yes, absolutely.
Right. So again, TNBA is all about the number. Correct?
No, okay. Now let me. That number that I was referring to was bowlers in numbers of members in ABC and WIBC, total number of bowlers participating in bowling. The ABC, WIBC, and back then the HABC, the junior bowling program. So that was the total number of organized bowlers. Now TNBA's membership has never, our largest membership base has been approximately 30,000 members,
Right.
just under 30,000. Now the fact is that we have sustained our membership in the 22 to 25,000 range for the past 15, 20 years in a shrinking market, the shrinking population rather. So consider ocean being all bowlers that are out there. And that ocean is getting so much smaller, shrinking down. But our island seems to have the same number of participants. So for us to sustain our membership at that same level within a shrinking membership market is actually growth on our behalf. So we're not, by us not shrinking, we're growing, because we should be proportionally shrinking by the same level as the main population. I don't know if that's making sense or not, but that's really what it boils down to. We're not losing our numbers at the same rate that the whole population of bowling is losing.
Okay.
Organized bowling.
Okay.
That's make that organized bowling.
Hey guys, like I said, anybody got any other questions, man? I'm sure, like I said, if we can't get it in today, I can always get Dewann back on here another day, because like I said, TNBA is a huge organization, and we are going to continue to bowl no matter what. But we are and basically it seems like we all want the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And Dewann is giving it to us just as you guys asked the questions. You know, he didn't sugarcoat nothing, and hopefully he kept it 100 with us. Like, it is what it is.
And again, it's all about making bowling viable, keeping bowling alive through TNBA, through all other mechanisms of bowling. The underground bowling NBA, and all these organizations. We support them all, because bowling is something we love. Bowling is something that's been good to many of us, and we want to continue making it attractive, making it possible for people to continue to have fun with it and make money. Literally, that's what I hate to use the term "make money," but that's what it's all about. We want to create those opportunities, and we want to be there to create those opportunities. You keep tearing us apart. You keep telling us, that I don't want to participate in TNBA. I mean, we want to be there to provide the competition for you to survive and our sport to survive under. And we'd like you to support us from that perspective, and we want to continue to do that. We want to grow our sport and grow the viability of those who want to continue competing in it.
Yeah. And like I said, today with this show, man, it's like it became a TNBA platform, because I guess, like I said, there were some issues going on in different regions, and people were getting their questions answered. So that is absolutely amazing that things are starting to, the ball is starting to roll in different places. But another question, as far as the Rodmans,
yes.
Each region has their own Rodman.
Yes.
Can each region have their own set of rules and how they run things, or is it just like TNBA National says, this is the way this tournament is going to be ran, and it has to go all the way through all 4 regions?
Our tournament national director of tournaments has given the flexibility to each one of the regions to run their scratch singles tournament within certain. They run it by her. If she approves, then they can do it. So there are differences in them. What I'd like to see, and something that was promised that has not happened yet, the Rodman started off being a regional event. Well, actually, I can give you a little bit of history on the Rodman itself. It was originally the first Rodman was held in Madison Square Garden on the East Coast, and the original concept. This is coming from our previous Executive Secretary Treasurer Margaret S. Period Lee. She pointed out the fact that their goal was to try to find have a tournament within the TNBA to have a champion that we could literally put out there on the tour and have someone to win and be someone that we can get out on the tour, find some mechanism to get them out on the tour. Unfortunately, when the tournament was ran, one of us didn't win it, so that didn't pan out the way he wanted to. So they decided the next year to actually create regional tournaments. They renamed it. It wasn't called the Bill Rodman at the time. They renamed it the next year to be the Bill Rodman Regional Singles Classic tournaments. And they would take each of the four regions. The first was just three regions, but anyways, four regions now. And they would take a winner of each one of those regions, and the winner would then go to the national and compete in a special national showdown between the four different regions. That went away about 10 years ago. We haven't had a regional roll-off in more than 10 years, I believe now. So I'd love for us to get back to that.
Okay. Hey, well, like I said, Dewann, I'm not gonna hold you no longer, man, because I'm sure, like I said, we can stay on here all day, all night, and just keep and keep it going. But as far as TNBA and everything going, like I said, I truly appreciate it. For everybody that
I'm going to answer this question. I want to see this question right here with Kent Rogers. Okay, let's. I don't want to. But
22,000. I forgot I put it up there, but yes.
Okay. Do you believe there will be? Okay, I want to read this.
With 20 to 22,000 members, do you believe it would help if we had a corporate rates for the member to travel and participate in more events? For example, having a special rate for airfare, travel, lodging, things like that.
That's a very good question. It's one that has been attacked in the past, and it's one that I wanted to actually tackle during my tenure as well. I felt that especially in 2010 is when the airlines eliminated most of the airlines eliminated free luggage and started charging for their bags. Everyone except Southwest. Well, anyway, but I wanted to negotiate a special where an airline can be designated as the official airline of the National Bowl Association. And as such, they get, hypothetically, the bowling bags, the bowling equipment shipped for free or discounted or something like that. And there we do have travel rates. I think Delta has a travel code that you can use, and I think you get like a 2% or 5% discount to that effect. I believe for if you use that code and coming out to our national tournaments. It used to be included in the brochures. I'll double check to see if it's still there. But so that I know that Delta, I believe, had that provision. But we do when we're in the process of negotiating for like our national championship tournaments and things like that. We do emphatically go to the hotels and negotiate out a rate that is equitable and normally much less than if someone wants to go out and negotiate it on their own. With that being said, they still do have a lot of teaser rates out there that people can go and acquire that sometimes, in many occasions, something like that, will maybe better. So I would behoove you to look at those as well. But in general, the published rates, we tear those rates apart and come up with because we come in there with the power of our existence, our entire organization coming in there, and we're able to negotiate and get some better rates for our members.
Okay, there you go. Like I said, I have to see any other questions on here. Dewann, we appreciate you coming front and forward with us. As far as being TNBA president, we know it. It's heavy on your shoulders, and you hear all the chatter that goes on. But for you to come on tonight, man, and just face us face to face and keep it 100 with us, we truly appreciate that. Seriously.
I need to publicly apologize for my bow tie being upside down. I tied it all the way. Do you know how to tie a bow tie, by the way? I was going to ask you that. Do you know how to tie a bow tie? Are you
Absolutely, I do know how to tie.
All right, that's good. That's good. So I went to the effort to tie the bow tie, and I got it upside down, and I couldn't take time to redo it. I didn't notice until I looked into the mirror.
Yeah, I know how to tie. And something else I'm learning to do is tie a regular tie
into a bow tie. Yes,
yeah,
I've done that too. Yeah. So we're good. We're good.
You know, but say, man, I appreciate you coming on, man, and all my guests that came on. Hit the share button, man. Let them know Dewann came on the Bow Tie Show with an upside down bow tie, but he came on and dude, he faced us face to face, dude. And like I said, you guys asked him a lot of questions. He was very informative, and dude, hey, all we want to do is make TNBA better. Seriously,
absolutely. And bowling, and create a flourishing sport of bowling. You know, it's to me, it's more. It's bigger than TNBA.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But Dewann, dude, have a great evening, man. And I'm sure I'll be talking to you real soon.
All right. Take care.
All right. Have a good one, brother. All right. Thank you for joining.
All right. Take care.
Later. Guys, that was our TNBA president, Dewann Clark. He, like I said, he faced us front and center. Anything you guys asked him, if you guys have any other questions, go ahead, like I said, wherever you're responding to now or asking the questions, hey, tag Dewann name in there and ask him because I'm sure he'll respond. Email him. That is what we're all about. And like I said, that was a tough job sitting there for Dewann to sit there and hear what's going on in TNBA, but he also sat there and answered it. So Dewann, like I said, truly appreciate you coming on. And hey, I just want to give a special shout out, man. Talked to him earlier today, my boy Ron Sims. Ron, I love you dearly, man. You are A1 in my book, no matter what. You are A1 because, dude, he's told me a lot, and he's been talking to me. So I just wanted to give a big shout out to Ron Sims Jr., man. So I just want to say from Mr. Bowtie himself to you, Ron, thank you, sir. Thank you. And thank you guys for tuning in. And, man, enjoy the rest of your evening. Happy Tuesday. Stay safe. More and more things are starting to open up. But still, wear your mask. Do whatever you need to do, man. Let's take care of us. Take care of us. That's the only way we're going to get better. So, hey, man, as I always say, good job doing what we do. But, hey, Bowtie is here, and thank you for the platform. That's all I can say. But love you guys. Hey, Bowtie out. Peace.